Arise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here. We have returned a 2 year or 1.5 year hiatus, depending on who you talk to, but we are back in the 80s. It is 1988. We are here for Atari Twilight 88, as you can see by the little 88 up there. With me here is the full cast from the original finale season of Atari Twilight. Sans one Sam, who is, she's still part of the story. She's still here in spirit. That being said, if you guys like what we do here and you want to support the channel, the best way to do that is by subscribing down to the Patreon down below and joining us in the Discord to talk about this conversation and this game and all the fun things we do here. You'll see in the bottom left-hand corner the corruption bar. That bar serves two purposes. One is when that bar fills, Greg gets to do what the hell he wants to us. But two, every single dollar that goes into that bar goes back to these wonderful, beautiful, amazing faces you see here before you. And with that, I will turn things over to Greg to take us back to the 80s that never was.
Thank you, my friend. And before we start, I just want to say I am incredibly happy to be back with this on this channel with this incredible cast. I will ask Mike one thing before we start. Do you need the link for tonight's playlist?
I have it. You sent it to me, and I will put that up right now.
Oh, that's the one for one later.
Oh, then yes, I need tonight's.
Okay, in Zoom chat right now.
Let's get
as we get the tunes up for this, the second season of Atari Twilight, I would like to welcome everybody in. I would like to welcome the Atari Twilight Writers Room from the unMadeGaming Discord. So many fantastic friends there that have been helping me get ready for the start of this season. Quickly, I'd like to say Necrotic G, Doozer, Bacon 50, Drath Nick, thank you so much for many of the things that you will see in elements that were helped to bring about a lot of spitballing in the Atari Twilight Writers Room. Please join us if you would like. Join the Discord and jump in there. We like to spitball some things that may appear here in the 80s that never were. But like we said before, to go forward, you have to go back. And this time we're going back to 1988. But before we can touch on 1988, let me tell you what happened in 1987. Simply put, the people that you see here saved the world. They're just kids. 8th graders at the time. They were able to combat enemies that they believed to be the Decepticons, the enemies, these malevolent toys made flesh or metal. And they saved their hometown of Garrett, Maryland, and in so doing, saved the world entire. But that was 1987. And with 1988, the heroic accomplishments, the grandeur, the victory has dulled. It has dropped into the past. It has been, by the entirety of the town, forgotten. They are older now, where before they were the royalty of Edgar Allan Poe Middle School. Now they are the lowest of the totem pole here at Braddock High School. The transition from 8th grade to 9th grade, a tumultuous one. But perhaps the transition from hero to unknown is even stronger still. But to start correctly, here in 1988, I will let you know that it is October 1st of that year. And it is same as it ever was. Or excuse me, same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. And here the twister comes. Here comes the twister. And so everybody, now that you've had the Spotify playlist given to you, if you would like to select our very first song of this, our second season, Once in a Lifetime by Talking Heads, cue that up and let it begin playing as we drop back down into the town of Garrett, Maryland. Here from a crow's eye view of this Appalachian small town set in 1988, it is resplendent in the full throat of autumn. Edgar Allan Poe Middle School hustles and bustles with sports and community service clubs. Commerce in all of its varied glory stretches from Garrett's business district to the nearly 2-year-old Maplehurst Mall, a monument to capitalism. Families and friends wave to one another on the streets. It is a bygone era, one where everyone knows your name. Any odd stories or events from Garrett's recent past forgotten, the way one forgets an individual cloud or a sunset. Now, some recall strange happenings, but they have little more detail to them than a forgotten dream. The town has moved on. But as we look down on Garrett, our bird's eye view flies north, and the hard geometry of the particle accelerator known as the loop interrupts Autumn with its presentation of potential power and sinister hints of objectives unknown. Cars fill the lot. Workers move into and out of the buildings, dressed for construction, science, business, and perhaps the diabolical. Oddly, the loop is filled with life, like a beehive or an anthill. But then our view wheels across this crisp sky, to the right and spiraling, diving away from the loop until we reach a distant ancillary loop building. This building is dark, in disrepair, abandoned. In reflection, this building is the graveyard to the life that we've seen at the loop. Tragedy, zealotry, and Icaran ambition is soaked in the atoms of the fallen structure. The loop has forgotten this building, this failure, its name, lost in a file. But it's perched on the edge of a cliff, overlooking Garrett. In the distance to the north, in a clear day like this one, the denizens can see it. Yes, the loop may have forgotten its name, but the youth of Garrett have given it a new name, Castle Grayskull. But again, we spiral south away from this strange structure, and we watch as rolling farmland becomes the community of Garrett, the harvest festival in full swing at the town center. But this time we zip toward the large stone structure of Braddock High School, bigger than Edgar Allan Poe Middle School, more mature, as the students are supposed to be. 6 students sit in Saturday morning detention. 15 minutes remain in their confinement. Starting at 8 a.m., silence has dominated the last 3 hours. Miss Diaz, for those of you that would like a face claim, a 29 or 30-year-old Salma Hayek. The Spanish teacher presides over our damned congregation, but she has stepped out to hand in her attendance log to the school secretary. As we peel away, we see the perhaps more mature faces of Rob Ott, Jerry Baker, Mitchell, of Shannon Locke, and of George Butts. And as we spin away from the faces that have grown over the last several months, our camera, the mind's eye of the viewer for Atari Twilight, settles on the large clock in the room. And as we watch, the hands go backwards. Hours, days. And now I will ask my fantastic players, you know that you end up in detention. How do you get here? And let us start with Jerry.
Oh, well, Jerry's no stranger to detention. He doesn't always show up. This time he did. But to speak to the character, I think there was he kind of prided himself in the beginning of season 1 on his "your mom" jokes. He landed himself in detention this time when someone made a "your mom" joke about Ben, and Jerry put his head in the toilet.
And that is what's going to happen, my friend, as we see the hallway congested a bit of Braddock High School. And everyone, because it is my ability to do so, cue up a little Dare by Stan Bush, a little flashback to season 1 and our triumphant finale. As you're walking down the hallway, Ben McKenzie, the still small, doesn't look like his face has grown out of the baby fat or hard angles that he was gifted with in season 1. He hasn't gotten any taller. But as he's walking, the junior running back for the football team by the name of Roger Watson walks by, surrounded and flanked by cronies wearing Letterman's jackets. And for whatever reason, he looks down at Ben and says, "Hey, kid, tell your mom it's usually $50 an hour, but since she's my best customer, I'll make it $49.99. And Ben's head drops and a tear rolls down his cheek, but his fists clench. And as this happens, Jerry, you've told us you put his head in his toilet, but I think we all would like to see Jerry do just that. You have your shot.
So Jerry's new to this school. He's just a baby boy, but he's bigger than most of the people at this school already. Last year he was fat. This year, less so. He's still fat, but that just less so. And I think instantly Jerry drops his bag, drops the book he was holding, and grabs this guy by the collar and pushes him up against the lockers. He says, "You want to repeat that?"
He is trying to break away from you. At first, he thinks that you are being funny. Roll me the very first roll of season 2, a force, my friend.
Oh, I got that. That's a 1 success.
He tries to break away, but he fails. And as he looks at you, he decides to use his voice where his muscles have failed. "Let go of me."
No, I think we need to have a talk about this. And the right next to that bank of lockers is the bathroom door. And Jerry will slide this guy along the lockers, locks clanking as he moves down and in through the door.
And as that happens, several of the students that are in there part as these two huge boys come through, one dragging and sliding the other. And as you kick open the door to one of the stalls, luckily empty, you see that while it may be empty, it probably hasn't been throughout the day, as the toilet itself is, well, it's in need of janitorial services. What do you do, my friend?
Well, he's got to make his point first. Jerry's about the violence, but he's got a point to it almost all the time. You see that kid back there? I don't even want you looking at that kid until he graduates. And if I find out you did, this is just the beginning. And Jerry would like to force this kid's head into that toilet. No courtesy flush.
And without the courtesy given, this boy 2 years older than you is helpless in your grasp, and you shove his face home into the sins that he himself has committed. And as his face dips beneath the surface, you hear, as dead silence rocks through the restroom, you hear one voice, that of Ben McKenzie, say, "You're no devastator. You're no devastator at all." And we cut from this scene.
I think we cut from this scene, Jerry and Ben sharing a fist bump.
And we cut from this scene, but as our camera is pulling back, we do see that Mr. Yarnell, the shop teacher, comes storming in, sees the fate that has befallen Roger Watson, turns, sees Jerry, as fingers and eyes all turn in his direction, and the revelation of the detention is at hand. Mitch, as we spin through the halls of Braddock High School, how did you get your detention?
Not by any criminal activity, that's for sure.
Sure, but it's just us here. Tell me exactly what happened.
Right. Mitch has been doing really well in school, depending on who you ask, especially if you ask his mom. But he has enrolled himself in a 1980s loop version of robotics classes and computer programming classes, not for the knowledge of how to build robots or how to program them, because obviously, if anyone can do it, Mitch can do it. He's proven it before. Hell, his dad was a robot. So robots are in his blood. But really, the school has access to funds that Mitch does not, and the school uses those funds to buy parts that Mitch has not. And so, whenever the opportunity arises, he loads a pocket, loads a backpack, loads a cargo short full of these parts, and sneaks out of the lab, and hides them, and brings them to Teletran 2. Only this time, Mitch got caught. And before he could get out of it, this little weasel told the teacher, and now Mitch has detention for life, because they caught him red-handed, and think he stole all the other things that have been missing all year long.
Right. And as we did with Jerry, let's make sure that we understand exactly what we're dealing with now, a more mature Mitch. The person that ratted you out is a fellow robotics enthusiast by the name of Colin Franks, a very, very tall and thin boy who has been given the unfortunate nickname of Colon. And as
Okay.
As Colin saw you steal one of these parts from the robotics lab, he went and told Dr. Hilda Beecher, the biology teacher, who is the head of the science department. And before you had a chance to escape or stow the equipment, it's still firmly in your possession, as you said. This mid-50s woman intercepted you and indicated that you take a seat.
Are we in the... Where are we, Greg?
She gets you before you leave.
Oh, so we're in the robotics. Shit, okay. Yeah, he sits, and he tries to, angle himself so, you can't see the bulges of parts that are just, hidden on his person.
She doesn't seem very interested in, patting you down.
Mm-hmm.
She says, though, all right, you're either going to tell us what you took and we do an inventory to see if you're lying, or you don't tell us, we do an inventory to see what has been taken from the science department and blame you for all of it.
But I mean, I didn't take anything.
Colin saw you take something, and I can see that you're certainly not happy about this predicament.
That's because Colin's a butthole.
It's his science class, and that is astute, but...
Thank you.
Whatever you've taken, put on the desktop, and we'll start from there.
But if I didn't take anything, I don't have anything to put on the...
Let me put it to you like this.
Right.
If we search and find out that something's gone, you'll be blamed for it.
Even if
I
don't.
not.
Oh, so that's what about innocent until proven guilty? Is that do we not have laws because I'm a student? Is we just don't?
Yes, you get that law when you turn 18 and graduate. However, if you own up and take whatever you have stolen and put it on the desktop, that is all that you will be accused of. And then we'll go from there.
But I didn't take anything. You should check Colin. Maybe he stole it and he's framing me because he wants to get away from it. If obviously you don't believe, if you believe him, because I mean, look at him. You believe him, and then you wouldn't believe me because that's just a stereotype. It's because I come from the trade winds, isn't it? You'd think that I steal things because that's the kind of person I am. I just steal. That's really classist, Miss Doctor.
She nods. I grew up in the trade winds.
That backfired. Still didn't steal anything.
She indicates the door, and feel free to leave. Whenever we find something that's missing, you'll receive your detention slips.
Great. Well, I mean, so there's nothing missing, at least from me, for my thing. What about in the future? Does it just automatically assume that I stole it? Because, what if someone else steals something? Am I going to get in trouble for someone else stealing something? That's not really fair.
It really isn't, but politics in a high school seldom are.
Wow. I'm going to talk to something. Is a board?
Yes. Well, or if you prefer to be in the robotics laboratory, perhaps we make an arrangement. If you show me what you've stolen, you can assist me as part of your penance.
This feels
help
like
get labs together, or detention for life.
I feel like I'm talking to George Butts. This is reverse psychology, and I know that I'm. It's, what
She
a,
indicates the door.
what do the labs do about?
I have to prepare roughly 60 labs a day. You can help me do this.
Like these labs? And he like points to like the room.
Yep.
Do I get to like learn cool stuff, or like is it just?
Well, that's up to you. If you absorb what I am telling you, of course you'll learn. I've seen your grades, Mr. Mitchell.
Like the good ones?
The ones that count.
What if like you turn around and then if something just randomly appears that's not stolen by me, it's like, I don't know, what is it, amnesty? Is that like a word?
It is. It is. And then I tell you what we'll do is, if that happens, one Saturday detention, and then you help me with my labs. If not, I can't say what could be your sentence.
Dr. Beecher, what's that?
I don't know what. And she turns and looks.
And then Mitch like pulls out from his shirt like a huge, very obvious piece of robotic equipment and clunk on the desk. I caught it. Must be dust in the room.
Dust. Yes, she turns back around. Oh, look at that.
I have never seen that part before in my whole life. What does that do?
What that does is, that keeps you out of detention for life. And she signs a slip condemning you to one Saturday morning detention, hands it to you, and then says, I'll see you Monday after school.
Shit. All right, Dr. B. He scurries out of the, like, you see him, like, pull out his notepad and cross off that piece, put it back in, and runs down the hall.
I'd like let me see, give me an empathy roll, please.
Oh, God. Why you do this to me, Greg? Great, that's my best skill. 0.
You don't really know. You see that Vice Principal DeVoe and Principal Bivens are coming down towards the science lab at the same time that you leave, and you're not sure exactly what transpires between those two and Dr. Beecher, but you know that you hear your name once, but then you move away before you have a chance to really kind of figure out with body language or whatever it is exactly what they are discussing. But as our camera pulls away and again time passes, we go back to the hallways of Garrett, of Braddock Middle School. And we see George Butts. And instead of me describing what George looks like now, Rhino, would you tell us what George looks like? The last time we saw George, he looked how? And maybe that'll give us some context.
Sure. So the last time you guys saw George, he his hair was actually a little bit more like mine. It was bleached blonde, short on the sides, very long on the top, and very stylish. Not that I'm trying to say my own hair stylish, but now it's very different. He still has like the chiseled jaw, the dreamy teen butt or whatever, but his hair hasn't been cut since New Year's Eve, 1987. He's been growing it out as an act of rebellion. It's something that his father would never like. You'd probably call him a dirty hippie for having longer hair. And also his demeanor's changed a lot. Before, the events of late 87, George was truly invincible to almost everything. He had everything that, life could privilege somebody with. But, he had a rough go of it, so to say. And now he's really just stricken with he's stricken a nerve in himself and he's suffering, if you will.
Right, and to put it into context, as far as the Buttses are concerned here in the town of Garrett, Mr. Butts, Eugene, has not appeared since the events of season 1. it's prompted many people that have forgotten what happened during season 1 to easily dismiss his absence as he's run off on Dr. Butts, on George's mom. And because this is a small town, because of her speciality, which is George, what is your mom's speciality as a doctor?
She is a geriatric sex therapist.
Right. And with that being her area of expertise, a lot of people have lost faith, as it appears that she didn't know her craft well enough to even salvage her own relationship. So why should she be helping and guide others to do the same? And so with that, as we are walking through the congested halls of Braddock High School, much like a slur was handed down, or a insult was handed down to the mother, absent though she is, of Ben McKenzie, a boy yells out, "Hey, Butts, what's your mom call her bed now? Is it still the workbench? I thought you might have to change it since your dad ran off."
How about how far away is he when he says this to me? And is it to my back or to my face?
Like you just passed, and he sort of says it back over his left shoulder, so maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 feet as you kind of move away from one another. But he confidently says it to the snickers and sneers of people that previously you may have called friends. The popularity that you once held seems to have waned as well, but he seems confident that his insult is without question. And he and his cohorts laugh. But what do you do, George?
I turn on my heels and immediately, like, it's not a power walk. I don't know the right terminology for this, but he like takes some powerful steps, and he makes it in like maybe 2.5 steps to this guy's nose. And Bradford, I'm assuming I recognize the face. Okay, so I get in his face. Why did he trouble in your own house? Mom and dad not getting along? Need my mom's help?
This kid doesn't like the proximity that you're in, and you can see him moving his arms up to push you. You still have the momentum on your side as a little bit of shock kind of crossed this kid's face. But I'll still give it to you, George. There's no need for a mechanical initiative or anything. This is a story. Sure. What's the next line?
So I think all this happens so quickly. I think George just reacts, and he just grabs a guy by like the middle of the shirt and just slams him into the lockers. Not even really realizing that he's doing it. It just kind of happens. And he just tells him to shut the fuck up, like through his teeth, really gritting.
Roll me a force.
Two successes.
One success is all you needed to redirect this loudmouth into a locker. The second success, I'm giving you his front teeth. As you smash him into the frame, there is, in this silence that usually dominates a scene after a fight breaks out, silence falls, except for what sounds like, eerily, 2 marbles hitting the linoleum, and you hear this. And as the kid pulls away, you see ribbons of blood coming out of the mouth, down the corners, almost as if he's been feasting on something raw. But he is certainly not being fulfilled by whatever he had, as he immediately reaches and then regrets doing so as he feels the absence of his front teeth. Everybody is in a state of utter shock at this barbaric attack. At least that's what it seems like to somebody that didn't hear the insult. George, what do you do, my friend?
George kind of hesitates and still is like holding him a bit because he's never done this before. He's never really been in a real fight. Well, that's not true. He technically has been now, but still never a fight that wasn't defense. He's never been the offender. So I kind of think he like lets go and kind of like takes a couple steps back, and he's just kind of like staring and like looking around rapidly to see who's looking at him.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. George Potts, he broke his teeth off. You just hear all this as all of a sudden the loudmouth came, who was a loudmouth, who insulted your mom, insulted you, is now the victim. as everybody rushes over to console him as his shirt turns crimson, and he's bawling his eyes out, snot mixing with the blood. A spectacle is being made here, but if there's a villain cast in this tale, the name associated with that villain is George Butts. And all the eyes look at you now, not with laughter or sharing of the insult, but with contempt. The same eyes that used to look at you with friendship a year ago.
Yeah, I think George, he's getting the flight reaction right now, so he's gonna book it.
So as you run, patting down through, people part immediately for you after they saw the violence that you were able to generate upon command. And you're not sure exactly where your feet carry you. You're not sure of the travel or the trip, but the destination is revealed when you kind of look up and you realize you are beneath the bleachers. And even though there's shadow everywhere here, you're alone. And for a moment, you don't hear the whispers, you don't see the eyes, you don't see the looks of condemnation, you don't see the contempt, and you don't hear the ridicule that has been levied on your family. You're alone, George. What do you do now that you are?
So now that he's alone, he's like panting, and not just because he ran, but like that pant that you get when you just had enough building up inside of you and it just releases. So it's not even like he needs more oxygen, just a emotional reaction, and he just starts like bawling himself a little bit. But while he's doing that, he's trying to calm himself down, and he's reaching for a loose cigarette that he has inside of his jean jacket. He's never smoked it before. He kind of had it just in case. And so he's like starting to and like kind of, you know, the breathing.
And as your breathing's kind of betraying you as you try to light this cigarette, as you go to draw in the flame, you exhale with a bit of a sob. And beneath this shadowy area, another flame flares to life. Welcome, Shannon.
She holds the lighter up for him.
And he's like shaking.
And she lights her own and should I ask or
Nothing to ask about. No. Just
so
I did a
all
bit of
that
running.
blood
I
on
was
your
just
hands is what, ketchup?
he kind of like wipes it off all over his white shirt. Yeah, I don't want to,
Okay.
just no, nothing. It's all good.
You sure? I won't tell anybody.
No, plenty of people already saw it, so I'm fucked. So
Well, nobody likes me either, so you're among good company, I guess.
thanks, but I'm still getting used to it.
It's your first year here. Okay. It'll get probably harder and then it'll get easier when you stop caring.
Yeah, I've been to school a long time though, and this is the first time it's ever been hard.
Yeah, high school's a little different.
Yeah, fuck high school.
Yep.
And this time he takes like a drag of the cigarette and doesn't cough. He just really holds it in and lets out a legitimate puff of smoke.
And so as we started with George Butts, we'll end a bit with Shannon as Shannon sees George in front, blood on the hands, flecks of blood where it was caught on his shirt and wiped there. And now with a cigarette dangling from his lips, with hair longer than his father would allow. Perhaps a transformation as profound as a year can make one. Is there anything that Shannon would think as we pull from the scene beneath the bleachers?
About Butts and how he looks nowadays.
Yeah, or about anything. Just, this is a group that you had associations with in two very distinct ways. Both one as an observer and one as a participant. And perhaps the most charismatic is a polite way to say Butts was last season. You now see a decidedly different being in front of you.
Yeah. I know that the original encounters between Shannon and Butts were not friendly at the time, obviously. And I think over the period of time where they started really all interacting with each other because they were invested in the same cause, and then up until the end of the year, I think Shannon would think back to before she was the last one to leave him down with what she then later find out is his father. And I think that she can automatically, in some ways, because of her own issues with family and not having that connection, she sees the correlation between his rebellious nature and what happened, even though she might not know exactly what it was. So I think she probably sympathizes, but she also knows that he's very private with those types of things, and she's not going to push for information and just kind of be the, I guess, silent support if he needs it, if he decides that that's something that he wants. You know, being in that state in front of anybody, especially a girl during his age, is probably very vulnerable and embarrassing for him. So I think Shannon would just kind of take a step back, and he doesn't want there to be anything going on, so she's going to pretend like nothing's going on.
Fantastic. And so as we leave the shadowy bleachers where two friends are simply sharing a cigarette, we pull back out and we see the clock face as it spins and denotes the passage of time. And let's cue up from our playlist, because I wanted to listen to this song and I didn't do it just so I could listen to it now. A little Billy Ocean, Get Out of My Dreams and Get Into My Car, which is this season's signature song for Robimus Prime, otherwise known as Rob Ott. Frags, how did you end up in detention?
Well, the scene's gonna pan out, and Rob is going to be sat in the courtyard of the school, sitting crisscross applesauce, meditating. He chose to be a conscientious objector to dodgeball in gym, so he just went ahead and skipped it and chose to not participate and go along with his teachings that Miss Maggie has helped him with his breathing techniques and to try to get over his stutter a little bit. And he's just not all for the violence. And the last time he played dodgeball, he took a pretty mean slap to the face. So yeah, he's not about that anymore. I mean, he's not really one to skip class, but he felt like this, taking a stand against violence such as dodgeball, it's time. This is where his stand starts.
Frags, I want to thank you, because it's nervous and nerve-wracking for me to come back to a show 2 years after we did it. But when you said that Rob was a conscientious objector to dodgeball, I know I feel safe. I feel like I'm in a safe place.
Okay, welcome back, Greg.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you, buddy. All right, let's do this then. The gym teacher, Pat Still, comes over and with the 80s like belted too short shorts, the hairless tan legs, the crisp white almost knee socks, and of course the popped collared polo shirt denoting the burgundies and whites of Braddock High School. He would come over and he would literally take a knee, and he'd just be like eye level with you as you sit down. You know, I got to give you detention, right?
Do what you must. As Rob keeps his eyes closed and is steady focused on his meditation and breathing.
You can see, though you can't, your eyes are closed, but anybody looking could see that Coach Still is not into any of this. He's not. I mean, he's. This is him going the extra mile just to talk to you, but he shakes his head. He goes into his office, which is just off of the gym. He comes back out with a trifold pamphlet, places it in your lap. It is The Dangers of Drugs, and it also has detention slip for Saturday morning detention. At this point, what I would like to do is and I'm going to give you a bonus die for this. Roll us for this episode. You get to make our lead roll. So make a lead roll for me here. You can object to this as well, because should you fail this roll, Rob, I will give you a condition. This condition being, I believe it's exhausted is the one that I would give you. But if you succeed, you will have a pool of dice to give to all of your friends whenever you think they might need it.
All right, and to set the scene even further, Rob's got he's got blue jeans on, fairly not, I wouldn't say skin tight, but tight blue jeans on. He's wearing Converse, navy blue Converse, and he's got a mute gray dashiki on that he got from Miss Maggie's store. And with his new hairstyle, a little undercut, he almost stole Butts's haircut from season 1. He liked it, and when he saw that Butts wasn't using it anymore, he stole it. And he's been encouraged to better himself, so now he's got glasses. They're almost John Lennon, Harry Potter-esque glasses. So he's a much more calm and assertive person. At least that's what he tries to portray. So with that being said, let's throw this roll out.
Kendall, I have a question for you about this new robot.
What?
Does the dashiki smell a little bit too much like incense?
Yeah, it was used. It was, I was told that I could fill it out well. It does seem to be a size too big. I'm trying to keep talking to distract Greg from the fact that I did not succeed.
I will let you use a luck if you would like to here too. Even with the advancement of age, I believe Rob still has some luck to use.
Yeah. So I have 2 to start with. So I'm gonna use my luck and roll it again. Yeah.
Okay, so with 1 success, you avoid any conditions that I would give you, but you also get 2 dice. These dice can be given to any of your friends whenever they roll. And provided you agree with what they're doing, you may give them the dice to aid them.
As it were. So does the coach say anything else other than handing this thing to me?
Nope, he just hands you the Dangers of Drugs trifold pamphlet, and he also gives you the detention slip for Saturday morning. And as the camera pulls back, is there any last action last act we see of Rob Ott before we leave this moment?
He's gonna open his eyes and look down and see what it is. Kind of confused at the pamphlet. I'm sure the detention is tucked inside of this insert, or of this Dangers of Drugs. She said that would happen. Huh. He's just gonna continue his breathing. He's just, after glancing at it, he's gonna realize what happened, and he's gonna know that his people are noticing his stance. He's fighting against the man. The man is trying to fight back. Not today. I will take this one on the chin.
Not today, establishment. And as we pull back from the gym, we travel through Garrett time, but we arrive in the classroom of Miss Diaz. And Miss Diaz is staring at Shannon. So, Miss Locke, what will it be this week? Cheating, fighting, foul language?
I mean, can you really prove I was cheating?
You tell me. Whatever you want me to send you there for, I will.
Yep, that's the one.
All right, cheating it is.
Thanks.
Shannon, can I say something?
What? I mean, you can, obviously. Sure.
Would you listen if I did?
I will listen, but if it's a recommendation, I'm not sure I will take it.
Okay, well then let me just simply utter it, and then you may make your own decision. I don't think your friends would mind if you weren't seen as a, I don't know, wild child.
It's not really them I'm worried about. It's, everybody else that I have to deal with. And, I can't change who I am now. It's like I'm already a second year in and, kind of just keep to it the way it is. People don't bother me, because it's Shannon.
You can always change who you are. And she writes out a detention for cheating, a crime you did not commit, and she slides it over to you.
Thanks.
Have you ever heard the old saying, it's better to be loved than feared?
Sounds kind of familiar. But my dad would probably disagree with you.
Well, I don't care about your father. I just care about you. See you Saturday.
She just walks out the door, puts the slip in her pocket of her vest, and just goes back to basic, no expression, walking down the hallway to her locker.
We stick with Miss Diaz for a moment as she looks down at your transcript and the thick pad of carbons for the detentions that you've accrued. And she sort of just dismisses those, moving them aside, but keeping them inside the file, and looks at your grades and smiles slightly and shakes her head, puts the detention slips back inside the file and closes them. And with that, we travel forward, or return, I should say, to detention Saturday morning in the library of Braddock High School. All of our people are here, Ben and all of our PCs. There are 6 students in total here, and you have 15 minutes left. You have been silent this entire time. Ms. Diaz has just left the library, though, to turn in the attendance to the secretary at the front office. And for the first time during your detention, you are all without any type of monitor. Something happened to you all the night before. This is perhaps your first time to talk about it. But what do you do, my friends, as we are now in real time in Garrett, Maryland, and our story begins?
I feel like Mitch spins around in his chair, like just kicks his legs on the side. Okay, so guys, I've been thinking about it like all night since it happened. So then there was like the TV, and then the TV was different for each one of us, and then like then there's the marble, and like what does the marble mean? Is your dad alive? What happened to your dad? Is he a robot? Is he a robot? What does that even mean? And Mitch just launches into standard issue Mitchisms. He's like, okay, but, and then when we had the whole apocalypse thing, and then like I was fighting with my dad, and my dad got like torn in half, and there was like a whole big thing, and then like. Why is no one?
Because you're not breathing.
They're back, though.
Maybe.
Like, what? What do you mean, like, maybe? Like, again.
No, they're definitely back. I hate to agree with Mitch, but
Yes.
they're definitely back.
But
Yeah, but that's...
they. We don't know who they actually is.
The Decepticons.
You
Mr.
think,
Eugene
what
Butts.
if it's not?
I mean, who plays with marbles? Besides Decepticons.
That's just creepy.
Okay, that doesn't sound...
First. Just...
That's what he says.
I
That's his thing.
Yeah, but we also don't have any clues to go off of. So what happened? Maybe we just all collectively saw something
Why
we
don't
wanted
we
to see.
go to where the place was that me and Rob saw before you guys came in and take a look around.
With their return, Optimus 2 may guide us.
How are we gonna know if you're not wearing?
But how? You don't have,
Okay with
yeah.
that.
Oh, no, I mean, there's he can just come through the void.
Through the void?
Did you say the void?
The void. The in between in here. Yeah. It's happened.
You want to try that again, Doctor Strange, or are you gonna go with the void?
The in your head, in the spaces between.
Yeah, Rob's head's a void. I get it.
Yeah, makes sense. Tracks.
He could come back.
I'm not saying he can't, but I'm just saying how do we hear him if you don't have?
I mean, who's to say that I never needed the helmet? I could I've grown out of it.
I think you did you ever hear him without the helmet, or the one time at the arcade?
Not yet.
Okay, well then I feel like
And he's
This-
not been answering the Teletran too. We've been trying, right?
right.
just because it hasn't happened doesn't mean it will. Just saying.
It's a fair point. I agree with that.
If you agree
Huh?
with that, then just because there's no proof that it's Decepticons doesn't mean it's not Decepticons.
But I'm also just saying maybe we should be open to the fact that it might not be, and it might be something else altogether.
Right.
I've got feelings he could send the radio transmission through my teeth.
It's
Hey,
Okay, Lucille.
damn it.
it's really hard.
It happened to Lucy.
Like Mitch looks to Jerry and then looks back. It's really hard to take you serious when you say shit like that.
I just think you're all way too excited about this, and we finished this last year, and that they're calling on us again is bullshit.
Well, that's
And
'cause we
why?
didn't finish it.
There was
Why?
nothing finished.
It was finished.
Who
You
said
weren't
it
even
wasn't?
here.
Exactly. That's why it's not finished.
I mean, he was in a tube. He was kind of there.
I was in a tube.
You were, yeah.
Okay, so why don't we just go to the place that supposedly blew up and see what there is?
I mean, the
I mean,
whole
yeah.
like the whole loop blew up, right? That's what it said.
Right, but there was a specific location, right, around the paperback exchange. So let's go look around. Maybe there's something there that we don't know about.
Oh, I didn't
How
see that
thoroughly
one.
do we know that area?
There was a thing at the paperback.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, was
I
that
know,
before we
it was
barged
just
in?
me and Rob.
No, how convenient. Just you and Rob.
What is that supposed to mean?
Rob's
I don't know. The rumors. You know,
Rob's
Jerry
gonna
was
flare
talking about it.
buds.
The rumors?
There's no rumor, man.
I mean, I didn't see it myself, so I can't confirm, but I'm pretty sure. And he
You're-
points to Mitch, who's doing the.
You're harshing the vibe, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to the paperback exchange then, and you guys can.
I'm going there anyway. So
Sounds like a date.
I can't.
So, after 10 minutes passes by, we have the Miss Diaz comes back in. She signs everybody out. Ben is sitting here just kind of listening to everything. He is a constant bystander and observer until called upon, but he listens to everybody. He seems both excited and terrified of the prospect that they might be back, but at the same time, he agrees to go with whatever you all would say. You leave Braddock High School, and as you walk outside into the air, the crisp October 1st air of Garrett, Maryland, you see just across the yard and the kind of the quad area of Braddock, you can actually see the paperback exchange. Your bikes, motorized or not, are here. You can ride over, but it will take you just seconds to get over to the Palace of Comic Books. Is that your destination?
That's where Jen was definitely gonna be going.
It sounds
Yeah.
like it.
yeah, we're getting where We're on our bikes, right?
So quickly, yeah, you're all able to pedal over there if you're all traveling. And as we get back to the paperback exchange for the first time this season, this is just as the name denotes, this is an exchange for hard and softback books. But in addition to that, the majority of the sales of this place go towards the comic books that are brought in on a weekly basis. And so long boxes are arrayed upon tables all the way from the front to the back of the bookstore. And in addition to books, also, well, crystals and other interesting kind of herbal remedies, holistic medicine approaches are also sold as a part of Miss Maggie, the owner's personal kind of drive. And as you come forward, you would all see that Miss Maggie is outside. She is cleaning a crystal that is catching the sun. And inside, somebody with hair exactly like the wig that I am wearing, a boy by the name of Gary Myers, is unloading a recently purchased long box of comics. And when they see you coming, they all, hey, and very happy to see both customers and friends. And everybody, since we are here, this is now a good time for, let's go all the way down to Runaway by Bon Jovi, please, since we do have Gary Myers here.
Question.
Mhm.
Since we've been around here for a while, do we know if the paperback exchange has like a basement?
It doesn't. It has a back room.
Okay.
Wait, what? Wait, before we go in, what are we here for? Like, I didn't see what you saw. So what did you see?
Okay. Long story short, essentially, when you guys were in we were going to get Cokes for everybody, right?
Yeah.
We went in, and the TV showed, I can't remember the reporter's name, but whatever, douchebag. And then he is talking about, like, essentially, like a memorial. They're laying down this wreath at the paperback, well, where it used to be, and just like ash covering the ground, and I think it's like a year later or something like that. And I don't know, it was on March 24th.
As soon as you say the date, Mitch looks to Rob, Jerry, and Buzz. Did you say March 24th?
Yeah. 89.
Guys, they're back.
Yeah.
Like
Is this like a definitive proof kind of moment back, or?
So
I didn't want to say anything, Shannon, but 24th is pretty significant, as it was foretold.
Kinda. Do you remember how Jerry has superpowers?
Yeah, I've seen them. Yep.
Yep. Do you remember how we told you how Jerry gets superpowers? Because he was holding Maggie's giant crystal.
Yep. I remember the crystal thing.
Well, when he was doing the crystal thing, it made a laser in the ground, and it said, "We destroy the world on March 24th, 1988."
Crystals destroy the world?
What? No, it says, "We destroy the world on March 24th, 1988. Stop us. Loop." But
Wait, stop us. What was the last part?
loop, like the loop.
Oh, the loop destroys.
Yeah.
things.
Obviously,
So then-
they're
but
making
you've
the
been saying
Decepticons.
It's the Decepticons.
It's the same thing.
How
We
do you
fought the
know?
Decepticons
It's
at
not.
the loop.
While this
Okay,
argument is
sure.
going on, George, I'd like you to roll me a investigate, please.
George Butts' dad worked for the loop. They were kidnapping people and bringing them into the loop.
One success.
George, as this conversation's going back and forth with facts that you've heard before, and an argument that's eerily similar between Shannon and Mitch, this perpetual kind of fight. You hear in your ear, Georgie. Everybody do me a favor and cue up Lost in the Shadows. I hate to do it to Bon Jovi, but...
And it's like, so it's like a whisper in my ears.
You feel the air as it touches your lobe.
Did it sound like my father?
It did.
I would imagine that if people happen to notice, George would just stop dead and kind of go stiff and kind of freeze in place.
And as you do this with your investigate roll, George, you freeze, and just as you freeze, your eyes are kind of focused on a spot between the two buildings here, the paperback exchange and the hair salon that is right next door. And you see that there are bills that are put up there for various events. The Harvest Festival that's in full swing has several of them that are kind of stacked up, but you see one that's a little bit cockeyed that your eyes are just focused and drilled into. And it says, Alta Inc. brings you Fall the Marbles, the county's premier marble championship, Saturday, October 29th, 1988.
It's a flyer, right? That's what you said, a flyer?
It's a flyer, just a bill of advertisement.
Yeah. So I walk right up to it quick and I snatch it. And I take it back to the group. Guys, I think it's time to practice our marbles.
I think you might need to go there to find yours.
Yeah, I'm sorry that my head's not full of the void.
Everybody else, George is holding a blank piece of paper.
Great, I'm fucking crazy.
Why do we have to practice? What? Marbles?
Hey, Butts. What do you think you're holding?
It's a fucking flyer, idiot. Read it.
It's
You gotta fold it first before you make it fly.
But here, let me help you out there. Atla Inc. brings Fall the Marbles Championship, Saturday, October 9th, 1988.
Hey, Butts. I know that like some weird shit happened and you were in a tube and like you were gone for like a while. That's a blank piece of paper, but
You're not hungry for lawn right now, are you?
open your eyes really wide.
Maybe hold it
There's
out.
there's no weird heartbeat.
Oh, I can read it. What are you guys talking about?
Yeah, the problem is none of us can read it. It's just
Well, I'm sorry you don't know how to read.
it's just
It's
No.
1988. Everybody should know how to read.
it's blank, man.
There's
Oh, I'm sorry.
nothing
Let me
on
flip
it.
it around for you. And he turns over the page and shows it to him.
Yep.
Wait,
It's how paper works. It's blank on both sides until you write on it.
wait. Remember the bathroom
Yeah.
with the six-fingered man? And we could see the things, but nobody else could see the things.
Yeah, but as long as we're kids, we should be able to see the stuff.
But other kids couldn't. Why can George see it, but we can't?
Maybe you guys are the robots, and I got to be careful. And you guys are actually adults.
You were in it too,
Fucking
but
freaks.
maybe it was you.
I'm the one who can read the writing that adults can't.
You're the only one that got kidnapped by the loop. And like Mitch takes a step back.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, wow.
Okay.
I'm just saying. Your dad was a robot. Your mom was almost a robot. You got
Well,
captured
it's not
by
like
the
I've
loop.
suddenly become strong or anything. It could do.
I mean, you were moving robots around the junkyard by yourself for a while. So
Join us, Georgie. And Rob's gonna kind of walk towards him with his hands out.
could really use that helmet now.
So yeah, George kind of, duck steps back a little bit to back away from me. Because being
Rob's
free.
gonna try to snatch the paper away from him.
If you can't read it, why you want it?
Just I want to see if maybe it's touch activated.
He's just gonna give it to Maggie for some incense.
That's
He hands it over because he already has the date. He already knows what day it is, and he's gonna go.
yeah. Rob's gonna take it and just does it say anything when Rob holds it?
Roll me and investigate.
Okay. I Captain. Investigation is where Oh, there it is. Nope. 0 successes.
Yeah, you don't. It just looks like a blank piece of paper. You can see where the staple has kind of been depressed and removed, like a torn little slit at the top, but you don't see any actual writing. But Rob, when you do this, you notice that while you're kind of paying attention and everybody else is talking, your eyes travel over and Miss Maggie covertly like waves to you and kind of beckons you inside, but she does so in such a way as to not embarrass you.
Okay, so piece of paper. Nothing on it, Rob?
No, but it was definitely stapled to something. And why would somebody staple blank paper to something?
Could I see it?
Yeah, see? Oh. What was on it? Marbles?
It said something about marbles. What exactly did it say? But
It said, Atla Inc. brings Fall the Marbles Championship Saturday, October 29th, 1988.
Atla Inc.
That-
Does that sound familiar at all to Shannon?
Roll me a comprehend with a +1.
+1. Also, is my mic any better? I'm tweaking the. Is it better? It's better.
It sounds good to me. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna give Shannon one of my lead dice.
Sweet. All right, here we go.
Then +2
Comprehend.
then, yeah.
Does that roll? There it goes. Oh my gosh.
You can use luck if you'd
Really?
like.
I
Yeah.
don't have luck.
I take my dice.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. That's right. You're too old for luck. Welcome to old age. Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah, so as you look at this, you don't see anything. It just looks like a blank piece of paper. You can see where the staple was indicated as being pulled free. But just a quick kind of observation back at the board where George pulled it from, you could see that everything there seems to be stapled to kind of be placed on like the cork board on the outside. But
So the name also doesn't mean anything to me.
and when you think about too the actual name that it's almost on the tip of your tongue. You just can't think of anything that it's almost like it's too common. There's you're not getting anything.
I think Rob vaguely, the name sounds familiar, Alta, but he doesn't know in what context, but it doesn't feel like it has good energy.
Right. And what I'll do too is because we did have a corruption bar come through, and I will let everybody know that if we somehow get another corruption bar in here, I will not only release tomorrow's playlist today, I will also make things decidedly worse for our group. But with that being said, I'll give them this one for free, just as you're all kind of looking at this piece of paper with the information that George gave you that was on this blank piece of paper. A red Freightliner truck that has a white stripe around the outside of it, looking very much like the leader of the Autobots, drives by the road in front of the paperback exchange, and there is a silver trailer that is being pulled behind it, and the silver trailer bears the moniker Alta Inc.
Well, that doesn't feel like a coincidence.
Yeah, George just kind of like points at it pretty overtly as it passes by.
Rob's face is gonna flush white, and he's just gonna kind of walk to the edge of the curb on the road and watch this truck go by. And he's gonna think real hard at it.
Right. As you are thinking, it's almost as it kind of pulls around the corner. You can stay with this truck, Rob, but you'd have to kind of walk around the corner of the paperback exchange out of eyesight. Is that something you want to do? Like, are you trying to flank this thing along the?
Yeah, he's gonna follow the truck until it's kind of. I mean, he's not gonna like chase it down or anything,
Right,
but
right,
he's gonna follow the truck until it's out of complete eyesight.
Okay. So yeah,
Shannon's
you
getting
walk.
on her bike. I'm just putting that out there.
Sure. You walk around the corner. Rob disappears from view as he walks around the corner. As you are thinking about this, Rob, you don't hear any response. Not at least not one that you believe to be real, but you remember what you heard the night prior, what you saw in your vision. Certainly not a shared dream. You hear, "Do not grieve. Soon I shall be one with the Matrix." And this Freightliner truck just keeps driving. You hear the driver, presumably downshift, begins to pull away.
From around the corner, you hear,
The Decepticons are back, Rob.
No, what you guys hear around the corner is Rob yell, "Don't go."
You feel a hand on your shoulder, Rob.
He's gonna turn around to see who it is.
It's Miss Maggie.
He's going to be part of the Matrix, and he seems okay with it, but I don't think he's okay with it. I'm not okay with it. He's leaving again, but that had to have been him. Am I crazy?
Somebody, the last person in Garrett that would ever call you crazy, is staring back at you as this like early 50s woman with long graying hair in a like Mrs. Roper moo smelling of 1969. She looks at the truck and then looks back at you and sees how distraught you are and looks around and realizes that for the moment in this small kind of street of Garrett, you're alone. And she says, "I see you have the hug I gave you yesterday. Can I see it for a moment?" And she opens up her arms.
He's just gonna grab her and embrace her in a hug.
She hugs you back.
I'm sorry I kept it so long.
She hugs you tight. And then she pulls back and she pulls a crystal out from inside the fold of like the vest that's part of this whole thing. And for a moment, the light catches that crystal and it seems to glow yellow. And she squeezes her hands around it and says, "There, your hug's all recharged." And she looks and
yeah,
you're never alone, Rob.
Not anymore. And he's gonna take the crystal and it's just a plain crystal, right?
Yeah.
Like there's no okay. He's gonna, for the time being, he's gonna put it in his pocket.
She looks over her shoulder though at the retreating Freightliner truck, and she looks back. "I don't think that's who you were looking for. Just a coincidence."
They talked to me yesterday. He told me not to be afraid, and that he was going to the Matrix. But we need him.
And she looks at you, and again, she checks to make sure there's no one around. The last thing she would want to do is embarrass you. And she steals a moment to take both of her hands and kind of, and where most people, she will leave them hovered about an inch above the skin to read their aura, she actually places her hands on the side of your face. And she says, "Oh, Rob, maybe you're ready." and she looks down at the crystal that you just put into your pocket, and she slaps your face lightly. Now, light our darkest hour. And then she opens her arms and says, here, take this hug with you. Remember that you carry it even when it seems like you might be alone. You're not. Miss Maggie is with you, and I am ever so proud. And she hugs you.
I promise to give it back.
And she hugs you, and as soon as you start to release, she releases you. And she looks down at you, and again, that kind of ethereal Stevie Nicks quality goes about her as she says, yeah, she goes, give me back what? And she dances back towards the paperback exchange. But let's get back to the other group, as this took a couple minutes.
Okay, what if you hold one side and I hold the other side butts, and then maybe it's like a butts
Shannon
activated
took off
thing?
on her bike.
Wait. I don't even know where she goes. What if you hold one side, I hold the other side, and then we do shoulder to shoulder, and then I can maybe it's a butts activated thing, maybe it's only you.
Yeah.
Don't
What if
be a robot.
What if and he gets behind you and he takes your arms in his arms like he's trying to teach you how to golf swing? What if we do this instead?
I'm very uncomfortable.
No, this is way more intimate though.
You're so warm, sweaty.
Sweaty. I'm glistening. All right.
Okay. And he
You
holds
see
the
it.
paper out. Do I see
You see me,
anything?
shakes it.
Do I see anything on the paper while he's ghosting me, Greg?
Roll me and investigate, please. And I'm going to give this to everybody as the downtown area is alive with the Harvest Festival that's beginning, as all the vendors are kind of open.
One success.
You look at it and flip it over and look at it and flip it over. This is almost like before you cross the street, make sure you look both ways, but you always look 3 ways, because by the time you're done with the second one, you should go back and look at the first. And when you flip over the page again, you see written, almost like it was written on a sheet above the one that you're actually reading. You see urgent communique from Teletran 1.
Butts, don't move. Don't move. Just stay just like this. Don't move at all.
You like this more than you realized?
Shut up. Rob! Rob! And he's trying to do his best to not move and yell for Rob. Rob! Robot!
Rob's gonna come around the corner. What?
Rob! Get over here!
I'm coming. Do I need to? And he's gonna kind of trot, walk. Do we need to be faster? What's going on?
Yep, you gotta be as quick as possible. This is the worst possible way you could come over here.
He's gonna walk up behind Mitch, say, what do you want?
Let's just ignore this pose that I'm in and how close I am to Butts. Do you see anything on the paper right now? Because I see something on the paper. It's not what Butts said.
Hold on,
Yeah,
please,
right.
please. No. Maybe if he's gonna go behind Mitch and also see if he can grab the paper, so we're in a 3-man chain of holding the paper.
Perfect.
I hate this so much. I wish we're on a main street. I just hope that no one. I'm so
Sees
glad
our
Shannon.
friendship,
I'm
and you
so,
squeeze you a little bit tighter.
so glad Shannon left.
No, Shannon had the right idea. I'm out.
Wait, no, Jerry. It
Jerry,
says-
you're walking off, you're separating yourself.
Yeah.
Jerry!
Okay, Jerry walks off and separates himself. Shannon, you've already pulled off on your bike, right?
I was trying to follow the truck.
Okay, so you're out following the truck. As all of this happens, just as you're all in this unchained melody of looking at this stuff, as Frag said in the chat, you see a white Volkswagen Rabbit drive by on the road, and Veronica Kirkshaw looks up and sees the 3 of you, and for a moment she lowers her glasses, puts them back up, shakes her head, and drives by and continues to leave. you would know that she has stayed here with her mom for senior year. Sam has gone with her father downstate.
Well, one of us is
But-
getting beaten up on Monday. Okay, guys, it says like someone had a piece of paper against it and wrote on the other paper. It says, if I hold it just right, it says urgent communique from Teletran 1. But that's all I can make out.
Neither George nor Rob can see this.
I don't know what Butts is talking about, but that's what I see. And I only saw it when this unfortunate position happened.
Mitch, we can't do things alone all the time.
Ugh.
I should know.
I don't like. Yeah, he breaks. He can't. It's too much. Ah, no.
Yeah.
No.
So before that happens, Rob, he doesn't see it, but he's enjoying the embrace. So he's just, as he's holding it, he's just gonna kind of.
You linger.
It
Oh,
was
he's
the
gonna
head.
put-
It was
He's
the
gonna
head.
put my head on Mitch's back.
Okay, I got to get in on this too. So everybody go to your Spotify playlist. Taylor Dane's "Tell It to My Heart."
No!
Please fire up "Tell It to My Heart."
No, I hate it.
He's gonna whisper. "Whisper, you want me to give you this?"
It would be Butts. Butts is behind me, so you'd be on
yeah,
Butts.
I was gonna say I'm the sandwich meat. You guys are the bread.
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought.
So you'd be saying it to Butts.
Wait,
Thank
which-
you, so
No,
wise.
God, no, stop. Transformers. This is the thing. Butts, and he holds it up to you. Where does it say to go?
As you all are having this conversation, we're gonna go with Jerry as Jerry walks off to get away from this situation. And because though I love Taylor Dane, let us go for let's do a little. You're damaged goods this year, right, Jerry?
I am.
Let's do some Gang of Four damaged goods, please. Jerry, as you step off by yourself, Ben stays with the others as he's, trying to figure out where he can hug. And as everybody is lined up, they're trying to read the pamphlet or the bill. You see, with the festival in full swing, people are beginning to part, and you see a large figure kind of crash through. And you see there's a stand there with cider, and it gets tipped a bit, and several of the cups go spilling. And as the side of the cider stand is revealed, you see your father kind of walking, stumbling toward you. Carl Baker appears highly intoxicated. It is 1:00 in the afternoon. He sees you and begins to move toward you.
Jerry will look around to make sure everyone's still doing their thing and he's alone. And then he'll kind of puff up his chest and just wait.
He stumbles over to you, and he has a kind of a shit-eating grin on his face. Jaron, how are you?
Carl,
I've been sick, Jerry. I want to know maybe if you could come help me. Back at the house.
I don't know. I don't think Mom would like it.
The doctors are running some tests. Told me I got to take it easy.
Yeah, you're listening pretty good, huh?
Yeah. Could use your help.
I'll come by later.
Okay. I I could put some hot dogs on. I got charcoal.
Yeah, maybe just later, all right? I got things to do.
Alrighty. And he starts to stumble off.
Jerry's going around the side of the building so that he's alone.
Yeah, he disappears into the crowd that's growing. Let's cut to a motorbike, still bearing some scars from fresh concrete at the Battle of the the Battle of the Ivory Tower. Shannon, you are roaring along this road. You're easily keeping up with the Freightliner. You can see that it's making a beeline for Interstate 68. You can roll me an investigate as you get close, though.
Okay. Investigate. Let's see if this works. 1 success.
Okay. It's as you're kind of dismissing the fact that this is just a truck. You've gotten close to it. You've looked at it. You've seen the driver. The driver appears to be, there's no like empty wheel that's spinning by itself. All the telltale signs that you've come to know very well as being potential bad guys. This doesn't set off any alarms in your head, but through the yellow and red tape deck that was kind of soldered in place at the end of last season on your bike, for a moment, you hear the crackle through the speakers, and you hear the voice of Teletran 2. Communique received. Communique received. Communique received. And then it's gone.
And so the truck is headed towards the interstate.
Mm-hmm.
What do I know is in that direction in general, like buildings or landmarks or something like that?
Right. This is kind of away. Yeah. There's just fields and farm. If you continue along this path, though, you will come to the graveyard and Astro Train, Teletran 2, whatever you all are calling it these days.
Okay. Interesting. I guess she'll pull into there and just get the radio out, assuming that we're still doing the radio thing, hopefully.
Yeah, you all have your Mitchy talkies as far as I know. So
okay. And she tries to radio Mitch, I think. Mitch, hello.
Get off of me. We're done with that.
Just embraced my love.
I
hate
both of you. I hate both of you. Get off of me. My talkie's going off. Get out of here. Someone's gonna see us besides stupid Veronica. And he reaches in and out of his school bag and pulls out this fucking archaic CV walkie-talkie and then raises the antenna up. That's not how these work.
What do you mean that's not how these work? What is that? Just shut up. You need to get to Teletran 2.
Got it, Grimlock. He closes it down and stuffs it back in the pen. Guys, we gotta go.
Shannon does not buy into the whole code name thing at all.
That's how you use a radio. You gotta do it.
Yeah, and you gotta go. Oh wait,
you have to go. You have to go. Obviously, Butts. You have to add the. It doesn't do it for you. We have to go.
Going up to the communication area.
Where did Jerry go?
I'll be honest. I was too focused on fucking with you.
He walked away. He wasn't feeling the love.
I hate
Which
this.
way did he walk?
I hate everything about this. Ironhide, this is Wheeljack. Ironhide, this is Wheeljack. Ironhide, this is Wheeljack. It's emergency.
Wheeljack, this is Ironhide. Over.
We need to go to Teletran 2. It's urgent. Grimlock said so. Over.
Yeah, Yeah, I'll be there. I'll meet you there. Over.
Roger that. Wheeljack out. All right, guys, we gotta go.
Okay, so yeah, as we do our montage of pedal or non-pedal, if anybody is not going to the graveyard, which is the first time this season we will be dipping down into your headquarters, let me know. You are under no obligation to go, but if you're not, I'd just like to know just for placement purposes. The rest of you, as you descend upon the mag truck graveyard, you see all of the bundled mag trucks discarded here, no longer needed, but they're magnets that keep them aloft and floating above ground, as this is the 80s that never was. This is an 80s of promise where there was advancements in technology instead of potentially Cold War applications and a stagnation in independent free thought. And as these technologies were put into place, a lot of the pop culture and everything remained the same, but we now have floating trucks. And it is a graveyard for these trucks, one of which the group has made their own. And so as you all move into this area, and I'm assuming going into Teletran 2?
Yeah, we have a new upgrade. So
Let's hear about it.
In the 3x3 crate of trucks, the lower left one is now the team's garage, because obviously you need a garage. So like Mitch pedals up to that one and then grabs like the ramp that would be on the back of it and slides it out and drops it down, and then runs up it, opens the thing, and then slowly walks his bike up this ramp, which is way steeper than it should be because the grab trucks are floating like 10 feet off the ground. So he's and then just sort of rolls it into the back of this trailer truck, and then opens the hatch on top and starts to climb up to the new workshop. Guys, come on, we gotta.
As everybody pulls in, I will let you know that since the end of the events of season 1, Teletran 2 has stopped growing. In fact, many of the systems that were in play, the lights, the kind of that green wire map that popped up, those have all gone inert. One thing though has remained active, and that is almost like a Amazon Echo readout that flashes and actually speaks. Teletran 2 has a voice, but it's not something that initiates conversation. It is simply a very, very limited AI. But as soon as you get up into your workshop, you would hear communique received, communique received, communique received.
Shannon's just there, crossed arms, just like, took you long enough.
You're muted.
I have a bicycle.
Yeah. Still pretty lame.
Okay, wow, I'll fix your car.
You have no idea how lame.
You also have a bicycle.
Obviously, he doesn't look one. That's not a big...
Whatever.
Anyway, we have a message.
Did you play it?
No, I waited because I'm nice.
Is it because you didn't want to call yourself Grimlock?
I don't see the point of using code names over radio frequencies when the Decepticons can just get into anything they want anyway. And it's not like they don't know who we are, if it's them. Which I'm getting that it probably is. But
Teletran 2, this is Wheeljack, ready to receive message. And he just like looks at Shannon.
And though there is absolutely no software that verifies this, its response is when you say this, it says identity confirmed. Anyone could have said that, but it says identity confirmed. And you begin to hear the following. Individuals can even travel between the realities. They can originate from any phase, but they have to be able to see the universe. Only those that see can travel. The higher ups have designated these individuals as bleeds. Patrick John Mitchell has volunteered and been accepted as our first bleed. He dives in 1 week's time. It's my job to keep him safe. Captain Sean Locke reporting. End of communique. end of communique.
What the?
That's your dad and your dad.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I never thought me and Jerry would be the ones with normal dads.
Hang on now. This could just be an intercepted audio file for all we know. There's nothing incriminating here.
You're getting real defensive.
Except for the parts where they say their names. I think that's kind of incriminating.
It's not incriminating, it's just identifying.
Why are you so defensive? Nothing bad got said.
But you guys are going to assume something's bad.
Well,
Look, my dad's Megatron, so I think we can kind of pass the judgment to the side a little bit here.
Yeah, we still keep Butts around, even though he might be a robot.
I'll kick your robot.
No, you won't.
But who sent this?
Well, I don't know.
I think it was the truck or
I
something.
we don't have voicemail. It's just
No, it was like,
one
so
time
I was
thing.
following the truck, and then the message notification thing came through my bike, because remember we did that thing,
What did it say?
that there was a communicate Teletran 2.
It wasn't the truck. And he quickly looks left and right to Rob and Butts. I held the paper, and I saw on the paper communique from Teletran 2.
But I received the message through my bike frequency.
But I got it too at the same time. So it might not have been the
Guys,
truck.
this isn't exactly competition. You guys
No,
both got.
I'm just trying to understand where it originated from.
I don't know.
Well, the subject of the communique was your father's, so it makes sense that both of you would get it.
Okay.
I mean, that's not bad. That's actually.
If you all would like
it's actually
to
pretty good.
roll, anybody can roll a program or a tinker to see if maybe you can figure out where it came from.
Are you kidding me?
I'm just going to roll it anyway, but I only got 2 dice.
I rolled 10 dice, and all of them were not sixes.
I have no training in it, and I got 1 success. Suck it.
Fucking Butts.
So, of everybody that's kind of looking around Teletran 2, it's George who is sitting there and, again, not taking agency, not sure whether or not you're really into this investigation, but you realize that everyone is missing the fact that this transmission originated from the middle of Garrett. And you can see it. You can see this readout on this one little screen that no one seems to be looking at. And clear as day, you can see it right from downtown Garrett. And there's a little kind of flashing dot that it's the origin source of this communication.
Yeah, so for George, I imagine he just kind of oh my God, this again, and he face palms a little bit, turns to the side, and puts an arm against the wall and looks right where his eyes happen to fall, is on the communique readout showing.
No, I'm saying when we talk on the radio, you announce who you are, where the message is coming from. When Optimus called, it was always from Teletran 1. Where did this one come
No, that's
from?
not how it works.
Oh,
It's
no.
It came from downtown. Guys, it came from downtown.
But you don't even know how to use a camcorder. What you do is
Yeah,
you
but
say,
I know how to
"This
read,
is-
unlike
I'm
you, because you don't know how to read Alta, and I can read this, and it shows the message coming from downtown.
No one can read Alta.
Shannon's looking at what Butts is pointing at.
He is right.
Okay. Well, downtown. What would be in the vicinity as far as that location?
If you look at the map, this is the 2-block area that is right between. Here, let me throw up. This would be Paperback Exchange is right here. And so this whole block area around here is downtown. That's right now the festival's there, the Harvest Festival's right in the middle of downtown. So
Well, damn it, we were just there.
That makes sense why we got the communication.
I wasn't in downtown though when I got it.
Oh.
Well,
At
yeah,
least heading
radios,
toward
you
the
know, you can
interstate.
be.
Okay, so it's in downtown. So do we go and try to find the origin of where it's being transmitted, where it was transmitted from?
Wait, what does your dad do?
Well, military stuff. I don't have need to know basis.
Okay, so that came out really fast, and I didn't get a lot of it. But, guys, my robot dad is dead.
Maybe this is one of those time loop thingies or past not now things.
But when, though?
Or maybe he never died.
No, I saw
Mine
him
got
get...
one
Maybe
over
this is
several
how
times.
your dad becomes a robot.
No,
Wait, that makes my dad
I
look
mean,
not good.
but-
I take that back.
But I saw your dad, like, deactivated? And then, but it also, I saw my dad torn in half. And then, like, I held him
Here we are
as he died.
still.
Okay, hold on. Let's think about the themes that are going on here. There's like future stuff, and now we're back in the normal present, and now this is maybe the past.
Or maybe it's a different... I need to install... Okay. And he
Well,
uncorks, like...
it's a parallel universe thing now.
He uncorks a not a Sharpie, but like a dry erase, and writes "install answering machine" on the interior wall. I got to replay that message somehow. Yeah,
Teletran, replay that message, please.
that's not how it works, Buds.
Individuals can identity confirmed.
Son of a bitch!
Individuals can even travel between the realities. They can originate from any, and it repeats the entire message, which I'll put up for you. In
I was
chat.
gonna say, yeah, because George is gonna start
What
like
the-
writing it down. He's gonna steal the marker and start writing it down.
How did you learn to do that?
I just watched you do it.
You can barely turn on the Nintendo.
Well, you know, sometimes it's better be lucky than smart.
Put that on
Gross.
your tombstone.
Bitch.
Yeah.
What?
Growth.
So my dad is in some kind of a military operation, clearly, and I'm not even going to bother with you guys right now. So your dad, Mitch,
Yes.
is a lead, I guess, according to the message.
Yeah, I guess so.
I feel like it sounds better just to call him a robot, so we're just gonna call him a robot because I feel like. Never mind. Anyway, so I think this is like a old research type thing, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
I guess.
I saw my dad this summer, and then he's doing his job stuff again, so I don't know.
Does he have like an office? Can we like? I don't want to like break into your house, but can we like break into your
My
house?
dad is in the military. What part of that do you not understand? Like, is not accessible to me.
So we can't break in to the.
I didn't say I couldn't break in. I'm implying that I don't want to because it's my dad.
Yeah, but my dad's a robot. Butt's dad is Megatron. I don't even think Jerry has parents. I've never seen them before. So, like, join the club.
It's not a really.
Rob's dad is there.
I've only ever seen Rob's parents sitting on the couch. I don't even know what they do.
They're big into Wheel of Fortune.
What if you tell me how to break in and then I break in? And then
Oh no!
you...
Oh no! It's better if he catches me doing something like that, not you.
Okay, well then, there we go. Problem solved.
Okay, fine. I will break into my dad's office and we'll find nothing, and it'll be that's it.
Or we find everything.
Right now, you're just being contrarian, Mitch.
I mean, I don't know what that word means. I'm gonna take that as an insult.
Well.
Okay, so that's a different time. We get to figure that out. But you had your other plan was good. Ugh, that felt weird to
Yeah,
say.
to find the origin point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It also requires me to not break into my dad's office right now.
Right now. Greg, do I have anything that can help track down a signal origin point or where a signal is being broadcast from?
Roll me a tinker check.
It's going gangbusters already today, so let's see what happens when I roll this one. 0 on 10 dice.
Do you have any luck left?
You know what? I will spend luck right now. Get wrecked!
Okay, so what we're going to say is you believe that what you can do is kind of, if you can tweak 3 of the Mitchy talkies, you think you might be able to set up a triangulation point using the frequency that George found here in Teletran 2. So basically, you're giving yourself a metal detector to see if you can find the frequency somewhere in Garrett.
Okay.
This is going to take you a little while, though, so we're going to say that by the time Mitch finishes, the sun has gone down. It's probably like 5:30, 6 o'clock at night, but you're ready to go. And all I need to know is, Shannon, I'm assuming that you're going to take off on your bike.
Yes.
Well, in that case, as Shannon peels off with the idea of triangulating this, I'm assuming Shannon has one of these triangulation devices. You can give them to whoever you like, Mike.
I was gonna have Rob, Jerry, and Butts have be the triangle.
Okay.
And then Shannon and Mitch be the inside, trying to find where they all meet in the middle.
Okay.
That works.
Okay, so
Mitch could go with Shannon on her bike.
Yeah, I think like because that's Shannon's thing, and she just starts leaving places. It's like wait. Can I ride in the back of the motorcycle?
Sure.
And he puts like his hands on the back of it to like help push it down the ramp out of the garage. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna get on the back of this, and then no one's gonna worry about it.
So as Rob and George and Jerry kind of break off to form the triangle in downtown Garrett, we have the motorcycle that has Shannon and Mitch on it, and it travels, and our camera follows those two. Everybody go all the way down on your playlist, please, and click on Cry Little Sister. As you drive into the now darkened Garrett, Maryland, the Harvest Festival is still in full swing. Lights have erupted, jack-o'-lanterns have started to appear. But everything's bathed in an organic light now. You have flickering flames, or at least electronic flames that move. And as you enter into the city, there's still packed streets, the streets mirroring and looking much like the hallways of Braddock High School. And as people are passing and you see friends and family kind of crossing in front and neighbors, I'd like an investigation roll by Mitch. Shannon, because of our corruption bar, you get this one for free.
Zero successes.
So Mitch, you're kind of looking around as you all drive through on the motorcycle. And Shannon, as you look up, you see the crowd part and pass. And where there was no one before, you see a tall, muscular boy standing there with hair that's down past his chin. Everybody, if you'd like to look over at Roll20, I'll give you my face claim for it. You see Dutch looking back at you, his hair kind of plastered against one side of his face. And as somebody crosses in front of him, he's gone.
As a gut reaction, like Shannon like pumps the brakes on the bike, and I think Mitch probably yeah.
What the hell, dude?
Nothing. I thought I saw someone.
So you try to kill me?
Do you see anything?
Like any people? No.
No, the signal or something like an antenna or something like that.
Greg, do I see anything?
You look around, and as you look over to the left, you just see the crowd and denizens of Garrett. And Shannon, as you look back over the right shoulder to talk to Mitch, on the sidewalk, the crowd parts again, and you see Dutch standing there only this time he has somebody with him. As Nee is standing beside him, both look older than you remember them. Their hair is long, kind of similar as it's over one of their eyes apiece, but the left eye of Dutch and the right eye of Nee. And they smile. And as Dutch smiles, you see one tooth is filed to a point. And as the crowd crosses again, they're gone. And that's where we're going to end this session of Atari Twilight.
What does it mean? Well, shit.
Wow.
Oh, shit, yeah.
We got vamps, boys and girls. Vamps.
We're back, friends.
I'm just going back to the vision of Shannon.
Mhm.
Jeez.
We're back.
Also, apparently the fishing initially didn't work out too great for him.
Yeah.
So.
Man, what is it? The worst part about living in Santa Barbara is the fucking vampires. Well, everyone, this has been episode 1 of Atari Twilight 88, called 1988. We're fucking back. That's all I gotta say about it. Let's do our introductions. Let's get the hell out of here. Let's do our after show. If you guys want to get a chance to see that after show, check us out on Patreon at the $5 tier. Go down below where that link is. Let's start with our wonderful game master for the evening, Greg. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
My name is Greg, and I love playing with this game, this crew, and in this game and in this world. I had to get through some stuff in this episode to set up what's going to happen this season, but I wanted to make sure that we got as much 80s in here as we possibly could, and believe me, these characters do not the players do not disappoint. The characters are fantastic, and of course the community here at unMadeGaming is the best. So that's it. I have nothing to promote. I am no longer on social media, and I'm loving it. And so I'll be here every Tuesday night. I will be on Laugh Love Lindy on Wednesday nights, doing a Witcher show over there. But other than that, come back here next Tuesday for episode 2, They Live. And we will be back next Tuesday.
I think this is going to be the fastest outro ever. I don't think anyone here is streaming. Let's go to Meta. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
Hi, I'm Metamancer. You guys can pretty much find me on Twitter. I do most of my stuff on there. I don't really stream anymore. I plan on doing some stuff in my Discord for my private community, but otherwise I'm not on Twitch beyond this channel. I love this show and everybody on it, and I rewatched the first season, and I was just like, oh, I cannot wait. I've been writing like all day on Shannon's background stuff, and I'm super excited, and I love that Greg is pulling back all these things, and Shannon is very nostalgic. You guys will start realizing as the season goes on of just how she is, and I'm hoping to I'm pretty sure I'll have a lot of opportunities to bring that in, and you know, I'm just super psyched for this season. I think it's going to be amazing, and it already started off so good, and like we hit the high notes with the laughs and the low with the feels, and it's going to be amazing. That's all I can say.
That Jerry thing came out of nowhere. Mike, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
Which one?
You, buddy.
Okay. So yeah, I'm like the Anonymous Rhino. I play George Butts. I kind of also have been on a long-term hiatus from social media, but all my accounts are still active. So technically, you can find me on Twitter at BaloneySlap. If you guys are like into Animal Crossing, I just got into it, so feel free to we'll become friends and we can do little kid stuff on.
Nobody wants to buy your turnips.
That's not how it works. So I'm gonna let that slip. All right. And Bitters can attest to how nerdy I got into it. I have a spreadsheet that I track turnip prices in the morning and the afternoon, and I have a bar chart. It's too much. But anyway, you'll just catch me here next week.
Bitters, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
I'm Mr. Bitters. I still hate everything. Don't look for me on the internet. Just come back here next Tuesday, because this is where I am. Yeah, this is what I'm up to. This is what I'm about. In my free time, I do more of this, but in space. that's basically it. So,
Yeah, perfect. And last but not least, Frags, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to? No. Take your time.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at KWFrags. I don't do a whole lot other than also play in the space game with Thurs that you guys don't know. I would definitely suggest checking out the Patreon for the after show because you really do get to see an inner working of what goes into the decisions made like on the fly during the game, and what we definitely do discuss things like, the reason I said this is because this happened and this, and you really do get a look at how much storytelling is behind this, and how much that really drives everybody. And it's super fun to watch. Also, I've been playing a lot of 2K. Yeah, if you want to ball it up sometime, hit me up in the court.
All right, that's not how that works either. Okay.
Wait, hold on. You don't play 2K, so get off. You don't get to interrupt my outro just because I interrupt your outro.
Okay.
Wait, like NBA 2K
20? Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm an offensive-minded wing.
In my head, you said 2K, and I was like NBA 2000, like you're playing the game that's 20 years old. Why are you playing that game?
NBA 2K20, man. I'm throwing dimes and hitting layups, dude. I'm legit.
I am so happy to be back with you guys.
So yeah, hit me up in the Twitter DMs if you want.
Before we get the hell out of here and I save what scraps of sanity I have left, Greg, I believe you have an announcement for us.
I do. And Mike, what is the date on it? It's Saturday at 1 p.m.
August 2nd, I believe.
August 2nd, yes. We will be having members of the Atari Twilight Writers Room entering Garrett, Maryland in 1988 August 1st. Saturday, August 1st at 1 p.m. We have a group from the Atari Twilight Writers Room on Discord that will be joining in a one-shot. And what happens in that one-shot could potentially, it absolutely could help the group that you see around you. So it is directly related. It will be canon, and it could seriously help the group that you see. We will be announcing those lovely folks, I think, pretty soon, right, Mike? And just wanted to say, get ready to see them.
Yeah.
Because they're coming in. Yeah.
I think we can announce them after next week's game because the one-shot will be the following Saturday.
That sounds great.
So, with that bomb drop, we are out of here for the evening here. We'll see you guys next week. Catch us on the YouTubes and join us over on Patreon for the after show. From all of us to you guys, we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.